Without much warning and little deliberation, humanity has entered into a dangerous new era of geopolitics. But while much is said of the destabilising disappearance of our hegemonic ballast, it's the prevailing political dominance of a more sinister form of governance that contributes most to this age of unsettling volatility. We are now firmly in the age of nationalism, populism, and authoritarian militarism, and have been for some time now. The MAGA movement under Trump, proudly nationalist and unapologetically liberal, is not the cause of this global sickness, but is its most unmistakable symptom. Under President Xi, China is more politically centralised and unilaterally controlled than it has been since Mao. He's removed term limits, purged any threats to his power, and propagated a national obsession with redemption from its so-called century of humiliation. In Moscow, the same political elite who held power through the exploitation of communist dogma now issue sermons about their sacred duties as citizens of the Third Rome and their stoic defiance of Western depravity. These leaders aren't just patriotic, they believe in the supremacy of their nations as a result of either race, religion, or historical mythology. All three promote a narrative that teaches their tribe that the world has humiliated them for far too long and that only strength can retake what is rightfully theirs. And as any woman will tell you, there are few things more dangerous than a man consumed by grievance and a sense of lost pride, a threat that is now proliferating across the globe. Right-wing nationalist governments are now in power in Israel, Japan, and Turkey, and many others. These are not inconsequential nations, and all of them are investing heavily in their military while rewriting their national mythology to absolve their history of crimes and promote historical resentment. Even India has succumbed to its pernicious tendencies, with the rise of Hindu nationalism accompanying a spike in religious violence and democratic backsliding within the world's largest democracy. This isn't a question about economic policy or social progress. It's about how we perceive our collective identity. Does my nationality give me value? Does it give me reason to feel pride? Or more importantly, a reason to despise others, to mistrust those outside, to hate? Does it give me reason to fight? Nationalism is a cancer, a baseless and destructive dogma that has always invoked violence between us. Yet it is metastasizing, spread by think tanks and shady political action groups, almost all of which are directly funded and controlled by foreign governments attempting to infiltrate democratic systems that believe they had progressed beyond the primitive tribalism of their past. And atop every movement, preaching promises of national revival, a rescue from civilizational decline, and a return to mythical eras of glory, invariably sits a charlatan who inextricably absorbs their identity into the states, almost always inheriting unprecedented power in return. Like all cult movements, they offer collective salvation from an evil that no one knew existed. A collective identity that offers self-worth to the alienated and lonely, and a messiah to devote themselves to. A messiah who demands a price for his prophecies and makes himself indistinguishable from the idols he urges them to worship. Yet, scattered across the surging volatile seas that saturate the planet remain a handful of fortified islands preserving the light of human dignity, fighting to prevent their democracies from drowning in the seemingly unstoppable rising tide lapping at their feet. They shine their lights through the cold and bitterness of this new dark winter, offering hope to those seeking to escape their soulless prison within which the human spirit is suppressed with industrial efficiency. The fate of those who remain in these bastions of free thought is inescapably tied to the fate of Europe. This ancient civilization that teaches us what future is possible when we remove borders and find our collective identity behind the shared principles, values, and ideas born from the Enlightenment. The proof of concept for the democratic peace theory. For 2 millennia, this was the most violent continent on Earth, intoxicated by indefinite warfare, now existing in a constant and unshakable state of peaceful coexistence that has no parallel in history. For centuries, the people of France and Germany were entrenched in a state of near permanent active hostility. Yet because we were born into an era where war between them is seemingly impossible, we fail to appreciate the miracle that made it happen. The European Union solved war, one of humanity's greatest curses. So pay close attention to those who fight against it, and think about why they fear it.
You know what a globalist is? A globalist is a person that wants the globe to do well, frankly, not caring about our country so much. And you know what? We can't have that. You know, they have a word, it sort of became old-fashioned. It's called a nationalist. And I say, really, we're not supposed to use that word. You know what I am? I'm a nationalist, okay? I'm a nationalist. Nationalist. Nothing. Use that word. Use that word.